Everybody, Russ and West Ham Network. Hope you are all safe and well. Happy Friday. We've done another week. Congratulations, everybody. Well done. Slap on the back. Slap on the back. Not bad. Well, we had, it's been a bit of a stressful week, hasn't it, in terms of West Ham? And it's relentless. It is relentless. And we're doing even more stuff coming up. Even more in terms of, well, transfers in, transfers out. I still think there's a couple more to come out as well. Spoke about Ben Johnson and stuff anyway. Holly did a really good show this morning about Declan Rice, about the FFP, and about why it's important that we know about the structure in terms of what we can do in terms of spending that money. Because first time ever. I mean, as I said, Declan Rice is the seventh most when it goes through. Will be the seventh most expensive transfer in history, not just in the UK, but in football history. I think Anton Griezmann was more, and Jack Grealish is eighth now. So, and obviously, then I did a show at lunchtime about what it means to be a legend. And I know other people have been mentioning this as well, but I think there's a real I think it's a misconception of the word legend and what does it mean to be a West Ham legend. And I'll give you my thoughts, but it's all about your thoughts. And I'll be really interested for you to check it out and let me know in the comments what you think of that. Hammer's Headlines in association with the KUMB.com boys. Not one, not two, not three, but quattro stories today. And we're starting with turning Japanese, the far East London. Apparently, West Ham are keeping tabs on the 18-year-old striking sensation from Japan, Kazuki Gotto. He has drawn interest from Everton and Seville, apparently, according to the article in the Daily Mail. Gotto towers above his opponents. He's 6'3" and he's 18. Big lad, as well as representing his country at the World Under-20 Championships before facing a injury setback. He's injured. Typical West Ham player. Welcome aboard. With 5 goals and assists in 17 appearances for Jubilo Iwata this season, he has capped through the youth ranks of Japan and has been tipped to make his breakthrough into the senior squad before too long. He's progressing very rapidly within Japanese football. Reports suggest that West Ham are keen to bolster their squad with younger talent this season and want to add some height to their team as well. Obviously, we've got an aging squad. And we need to get some younger players in, and maybe Goto could be one of them players. He could arrive in England, in the UK, through the exceptional talent GBE rule, which means players don't have to qualify under the normal point system if they're exceptionally talented. An 18-year-old playing outside of Europe, attracting the interest of some of the biggest clubs in Europe, is always a type of deal fans are obviously interested in, and if we can get one over our, European rivals. I mean, you're looking at the likes of Sean Moore for Cliftonville, who are apparently signing very shortly as well. Again, that was someone that we've beaten the signature to by a number of, we've beaten other clubs to the signature of, that's it. So I think Goto seems to be in that sort of category. 5 goals from 17 games. Not a bad return at all for an 18-year-old, in all honesty. I think that the deal would mark an instant progression into a new direction in terms of our transfer plans. And we know that's on the agenda for Tim Steinton in terms of becoming technical director, what he wants to do, what his MO is. His MO is basically buying in younger players and developing them into the squad. I think that's what we want as West Ham. We want some good names, got some big names coming in, but we want to see stars progress. The likes of Bowen, for example, seeing how he progressed into the first team. Look at Declan Rice, taking him as a 14-year-old boy and now selling him for £105 million. I think Japanese football has been under the focus for some clubs in the UK, and increasingly will be even more so, particularly with the appointment of Postecoglou at Spurs. Obviously, he had a successful time in Japan, and several signings from the J League for Celtic have had a really good time at Celtic in terms of their development. So it's not surprising that it's an area we want to look at. And also, from again, not that's from a marketing perspective, having Japanese players opens up massive sort of revenues for West Ham in terms of the global brand. I know it's not something you really want to talk about, but actually it's. I mean, look at South Korea and Son and Spurs. It's crazy, and maybe we're looking into that. Not just one Japanese player we're linked with, but two. We've spoken about this guy before, Tanaka. But apparently, according to a article in Rheinsk Rheinsk Post, there we go, the German newspaper. The Fortuna Dusseldorf midfielder was absent from training on Thursday amid speculation of a £2.5 million transfer to West Ham. The report then went on to say that he actually missed training was nothing to do with the transfer move, but he was still in rehab for a ligament injury. Great, fantastic. We are being linked with the Bundesliga 2 club midfielder. He made 22 appearances in the Bundesliga 2 last year, scoring a goal and assist. And he managed 2 assists in 3 games in the DFB Polka. Very cheap option. Compared to more ambitious ones we're looking at. But again, the reports from Germany, and again, he's a German, he's played in Germany, and Tim Steinden's what he knows is in Germany. So anything with anyone from any Bundesliga side, I think definitely needs sort of slightly more sort of credence to some of the others, because we know although Tim will technically start soon, he's not going to be. He would have already had a list of players he was interested in and talking to agents and talking to clubs, because they do. They don't start and go twiddle their thumbs until the first of July or whatever, then crack on, So so it could be not one but 2 Japanese players. I don't know what 2 is in Japanese, unfortunately. Another player we've been linked with in the last 48 hours is the US midfielder, Tyler Adams from Leeds. Apparently, West Ham are reportedly have made an approach for him. According to the Daily Mail, he's firmly on our radar as a potential replacement for Declan Rice. A recent report claimed that we're weighing up an offer for the 24-year-old Leeds man. So he's a good age, same age as Declan Rice, really. Reckons the Hammers have made an approach for the 36 capped international. I mean, for me, it's not a replacement of Declan Rice. I think he would be a good midfielder for sure. He's not. If it was him and or a couple of tight ends type signings and an elite level midfielder, I think we do need an elite level central midfielder to come in to fill some sort of gap. The report reckons that he's going to be available for about 30. He's got a £30 million release clause, which seems a lot to me. But maybe I haven't seen enough of Tyler Adams to make a judgment, in all honesty. I mean, he 82% pass completion rate. It's good, but it's not great. He's solid. He's a solid operator. Decent addition, I think, for the squad. But he wouldn't get the old bud and juices flowing if he was the only signing. Do you know what I mean? I think there's, but then we don't. You don't know. Again, if I remember correctly, Tyler played a lot of football in Germany as well. So again, Tim would know about him. But I just think there's. I mean, we've been linked with hundreds of centre. I think we've been linked to about 86 different players now. Most of them central midfield players. And I think for someone like Declan Wright as a replacement, or as a not replacement, but as a reallocation of that position, I think Tyler wouldn't float my boat just yet. But I might be wrong, and you might think he's brilliant and mustn't. Let me know in the comments below. It's literally just my opinion, but I haven't seen enough of him to say, yes, he's the one. I've seen Dennis Zakari in the Bundesliga. I've seen Amadou Onana. I've seen, these types of players. I've seen a lot of Youssef Fofana as well. So there's certain players I think, yes, but he don't float my boat just yet. But once he wears the claret and blue, I'll back him as always. And lastly, apparently West Ham are eyeing a cut price deal for Arsenal defender Nuno Tavares. According to the Independent, David Moyes wants to bring in Nuno to provide competition to Aaron Cresswell and Emerson at left back. And the Gunners apparently want to cash in on the 23-year-old with an £8 million mooted fee being mooted, which seems really cheap for any Premier League left back. If you're paying less than 10 million, I think that seems really cheap, which worries me. He's 23, so he's young as well. But I think Emerson's 28, and he's proven that he's a decent first choice option. So why, and I don't think the priority. I mean, to be honest, Nuno is more of a left winger. In all honesty, when you see him play, a bit like Emerson. So actually, he's more of a like for like replacement for Emerson if Emerson gets injured, because he spends more of his time up defensively, offensively than defensively. Same as Emerson, really. So I can see why you would have someone of the same ilk as Emerson. So if he did get injured, then it's almost like one in, one out. There's no difference there. But also you got Maxwell Cornet, who can technically play left wing back if we need to, or left back. He's done it before, did it for Burnley. So there's plenty of covers. It doesn't really make sense to me. I can understand some of the reasonings behind it, but I think it's I don't know. I think we've got bigger fish to fry elsewhere at the moment. Certainly for this season coming. Next season's a different boat with Cresswell leave, probably out of contract, Oggy out of contract. But then you've got hopefully another season under the belt from Ollie Scars. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Anyway, guys, check out the network. Loads of stuff coming out, loads of transfer rumors, loads of insight, think pieces, all that type of stuff. And we'll see you very, very soon. Have a lovely weekend. I'm sure I'll be back during the weekend. So keep an eye out for me. And we'll see you very soon. Take care. Bye.